Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for joining me in today's class on the sweetness of killing Putana. Now, reading this title, one may immediately wonder, why are we saying it is sweet to kill a demon? That is because in the Madhurashtakam, as Sri Vallabhacharya says, Madhura Dipater Akhilam Madhuram. Everything is sweet about Krishna, even the killing of the demons. So today will be an advanced class where we try to pass our time in the pastimes. And that is our goal, right? Whether it be Kartik or whether it be any other time in the year, if we can dive deeply into the pastimes of Sri Krishna, then it will only benefit us tremendously and improve us and progress us on the path of bhakti. So today we will be discussing so many different advanced topics. Right? This is not a class where we will just go over the pastime of Putana, but we will actually cover all of the commentaries or tikas of our acharyas and what they have to say about this pastime. So we will cover tika of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sri Rup Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and all the 6 Goswamis. Then of course our Srila Prabhupada, Sri Vallabhacharya, and our Srila Gurudev. So today we're going to be discussing 3 main topics, and we're going to break down each one of them in full. So first we'll talk a little bit about the background info, right? Like who is Putana? Why are demons even allowed in the pastimes of Krishna? How is Kamsa allowed to send demons in Braj even though it's the holy Dham, etc. Then we will discover those hidden jewels, those special siddhantas within the pastime of Putana. So we'll not pay so much attention to the way in which the pastime played out, but actually about each little aspect that our acharyas have described. And then finally, what is it that we can take away from it? Right? At the end of the day, we want to know all of those different rasika moods or madhurya moods that we can take away from this pastime. What are the lessons we can learn for our own sadhan, for our own bhajan? This is our goal for today. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his bhajan Vibhavari Shesh, he says one line that basically summarizes the entire summum bonum of Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. Because what does Krishna do all day? We must think about this. We must understand what is the activities that he does all day. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has described this in one line, Braja Jana Palan Asura Kulanashan. Right? In all of the pastimes of Vrindavan, Sri Krishna is doing one of 2 things. And in fact, it's always this one, Vraja Janapalan. What does Vraja Janapalan mean? It means that one who nourishes, one who protects and cherishes that love of the devotees of Vraj, those Vrajajans, right? And within that activity, even Asur Kul Nashan, that means the destroying or the killing of the demons, also plays into Vraja Janapalan. Because yes, one, obviously, by killing the demons, he is protecting the Vrajavasis. But not only that, we will see that he also, in the Asur Kulnashan, nourishes the love of the devotees. Those rasas or those moods that the various devotees in Vrindavan have. So, Braja Janapalan Asur Kulnashan. Keep this on the top of your mind today as we discuss this class, because you will see how it relates to this pastime entirely. So, first things first. Are demons in the spiritual world? This is a common question by many devotees. That the pastimes of Krishna and the holy land of Vrindavan in this material world is considered non-different from the holy land of Golok Vrindavan in the spiritual world, or the aprakat jagat, right? This prakat jagat, or the manifest world, the material world, is this special place of Vrindavan is considered non-different. So one may ask, well, are demons in the spiritual world? If they're coming in this material world, do they present themselves over there? And how can demons be allowed in the spiritual world? Well, our acharyas and our Srila Gurudev used to say very clearly that no, demons are not allowed in the aprakat lila. They're not allowed in that spiritual realm because there is no such possibility of entrance of demons there. However, what do the Vrajavasis there, the Nitya Siddh Parikars, those who are eternally present with the Lord in Braj? Does that mean that this pastime does not happen there? Well, our Gurudev explains that actually the pastime does not physically take place, but the gopas and gopis, or the sakhas, they have this mood within them that this pastime did take place at some point. And by having this mood, they enhance their love for Krishna. For example, they have this mood that, oh, one time Indra did come, and Sri Krishna lifted Govardhan hill on his left pinky. Right? And he's so great and he's so wonderful because we all got to look at his beautiful Mukharavind, his beautiful face, for 7 days in a row. Right? So they had this mood, though Indra could never enter Golok Vrindavan in the spiritual world. This mood enhances the pastimes and enhances that love within them. So the pastimes in Golok Vrindavan are nitya. They are eternal. They're like a circle that goes over and over again. And the difference is in the pastimes in the material world, the demons are eligible to come, right? But the demons, even in the material world, even in this planet Earth, in the Holy Land of Vrindavan, they are always an instrument to enhance the pastimes of Krishna. See, we must understand that demons have no authority to enter. They have no authority to enter, and we will learn that shortly. So one may ask that if demons are only in this material world and are not present in the spiritual world, why should we even get to know them? Isn't our goal to go to the spiritual world, our goal to go to Golok Vrindavan? Well, Sri Sanatana Goswami in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, in the 2nd canto, chapter 5, he says, those who want to meditate on the Nitya Leela, on this, the pastimes of Krishna in the spiritual realm, first they have to meditate on the manifest Leela. So we have to know these pastimes in this material world, because by knowing them, us as sadhakas or practitioners, we get to realize that we actually have so many anarthas or unwanted things. Because the meaning of Putana is what? Putana. Putana means put, a very bad smell, or one who is full of bad qualities. And when we realize the sweetness of how Krishna kills Putana and what he gives her, and why does that happen, then we also will pray that please, you take this away from me. Take these anarthas, take these unwanted things like hypocrisy, deceit, criticism, etc. within me so that I can also be a part of these pastimes in Braj. Because until we cleanse ourselves of these anarthas, anartha nivritti, then it is not possible for us to enter those pastimes. So by learning these different aspects, then we can benefit ourselves. So one may ask, well, how is it possible that even in this land of Vraj, Kams is allowed to send demons? Right? Kams, how can he do that? He's a demon, he has demoniac nature, and this is spiritual activity. Well, actually, no one, whether it be us or whether it be Kams, can enter the land of Vraj without the permission of Srimati Radhika and Sri Krishna. Because this is their dham, this is their holy place. Though one may physically be able to enter Vrindavan without any qualification, but without the transcendental mercy of Sri Krishna and Srimati Radhika, one cannot actually see Vrindavan. Because these demons play a very big role. They play a very big role in the pastimes of Krishna, because they are inspired and brought by this Leela Shakti, or this Yogamaya potency. Right? Sri Krishna, as we will read in Srila Prabhupada's translation of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Krishna authorizes this Yogamaya potency to conduct activities which elevate the pleasure, elevate the love between him and his devotees. You will see in this verse, the translation that Srila Prabhupada has written, while searching for small children, Putana, whose business was to kill them, entered the house of Nanda Maharaj unobstructed. So she came, even though she was a demoness, she came within the house of Nanda Baba, having been sent by the superior potency of the Lord. And this superior potency is what? Shri Yogamaya, right? Shri Yogamaya Devi. That Yogamaya has been given special authority by Krishna, because when Krishna enters Vraj, he is no longer the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is no longer Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matta Sarvam Pravartate. What is he? He is Brajesha Taniyat, right? He is the son of Nanda, right? Aradhya Bhagavan Brajesha Taniyas, Tad Dhama Vrindavana, Aradhya Bhagavan, that Bhagavan becomes what? The resident of Vrindavan, the son of Nanda Baba, the son of Mother Yashoda, the beloved of the gopis. Right? So Krishna, what does he do? He's doing human-like pastimes, Naravat Lila. He has no desire to manifest his supreme potency. He does not care that he is a supreme Lord there because it is covered by Madhurya. It is covered by the sweetness of the Lord and the sweetness of the exchange of the devotees with him. So this Yogamaya potency is given great authority. And our Srila Gurudev used to say, you must read Srila Prabhupada's books and read word for word and pay attention to every single thing. Because we may skip this line and then wonder, how is it possible that guns could send demons? Actually, it is only by the will of Krishna. Because why would they be allowed? Krishna, or Yogamaya potency, what does she want? She's always looking for ways to enhance the love or the prem between the Brajavasis and Krishna. So, each of the demons that were killed in Braj, they each nourished the three important rasas, or the three important moods that are present within Braj. And that is Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. Sakhya, of course, meaning friendship. Vatsalya meaning parental mood. And Madhurya, or the lover-beloved mood of the gopis. And you will see, whether it be any demon, they will each fall within this category. Just like Bakasur, when Sri Krishna was playing with his friends and Bakasur appeared, then after Krishna killed Bakasur, what did the friends do? They said two things. One is they said, oh, Krishna, he can kill this great big bird, this great big crane, but when he fights with me, I am able to defeat him. And he has to carry me on his shoulders. In this way, I am stronger than Krishna, even though he kills such demons. This is the beautiful Sakha mood of the Gopas. Secondly, they go home and tell their mothers, oh, do you know what happened today? Krishna killed this great big bird, even though he's not as powerful as me. So actually, I can kill this great big bird. And each of the mothers of the Gopas and the Gopas who talk amongst themselves laugh and spend their time repeating the pastimes of Krishna. So in this way, it nourishes their Sakha-bhav. And as today we will learn, Putana and Shakatasura also nourish the Vatsalya mood, or the parental mood of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba. And then of course, Kesi, Vyomasur, Aristasur, and sometimes our Maharaja jokes, and all of their other Sasurs, what did they nourish? They nourished the Madhurya Bhav of the Gopis. So we will slowly, gradually learn all of these when we discuss those pastimes. We should also remember that in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is very clearly written that Krishna in Braj does not actually kill any demons. What? Krishna does not kill any demons? How is that possible? He's killing demons left and right. But actually Krishna, being the sweet, Madhura Dipate Akhilam Madhuram, does a sweet person kill demons? No. Actually, it says in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Vishnu Dwara Kare Krishna Asura Sanhar. That means Krishna, who is the supreme personality of Godhead, contains with him all the anshas, all the manifestations, all of his expansions, right? Ete cha anskala punsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Right? Krishna contains even Lord Vishnu within him. And it is that Lord Vishnu, who is the maintainer of the entire universe, that actually does the killing. What does Krishna do then? Krishna simply plays. You will see that in all of the Vraj pastimes, there's no use of any weapons. Krishna does not kill any demon with weapons. He kills demons with his sweet lips, or he kills demons with his sweet lotus hands, or even his lotus feet. Like, for example, Putana, he kills with his lips by sucking on her breast. Then Trinavart, he chokes with his lotus hands. And Shakatasur, he simply kicks the cart, and therefore the demon dies. So Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, is actually the one performing the killing. Sri Krishna is simply playing and enjoying the pastimes. So that is some of the background information. Now let's go into the pastime itself and let's learn what do our acharyas have to say. So I hope you understood the background info, that why demons can come in the first place. How someone, actually it is by the arrangement of Yogamaya and is by the desire for her to enhance the pleasure of the Lord. So let's start with who is Putana? Who is Putana actually, and what is her background? Because almost every story within the Lord's pastimes has some background. So Putana, I have a picture here of Lord Vamandev. Lord Vamandev being the dwarf incarnation. Right? The dwarf incarnation of Krishna. What does he do? He appears in front of Maharaj Bali as a young small boy, a young small Brahmin boy. And he approaches Maharaj Bali because Maharaj Bali has conquered the entire universe. And the demigods are pleading, "Oh Krishna, oh Lord Vishnu, please save us." And he says, "I will come and rescue you all." Because, right? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam. This is what the Lord does in his incarnations. So when Lord Vamandev approaches Maharaj Bali, he says, "Maharaj Bali, I have heard you are a great charitable person." And Maharaj Bali says, "Yes. Anyone who comes to me and asks me for anything, I will never say no." So Lord Vamandev, he says, "Oh, well, I just want 3 small steps of land." And Maharaj Bali, he begins to laugh. "Ha ha ha! How do you ask me for just 3 steps of land? How unintelligent you are, little Brahmin boy. Don't you know I control the entire material worlds and even the heavenly planets? I have so much, I can give you anything, and all you ask me is for 3 steps of land." And Lord Vamandev says, "Oh, I'm just a simple Brahmin. I only want 3 steps of land in order to maintain myself nicely." So Maharaj Bali, he had one daughter. He had one daughter, and her name was Ratnamala. Now Ratnamala, upon seeing the beauty and the splendor of Lord Vamandev, because of course the Lord is beautiful whenever he appears, she becomes immediately attracted to him and says, "Oh, if this boy was my son, then I would be so blessed. I would be so happy to be his mother so that I could feed him with my breast milk." So the Lord notices this mood, and of course, because he is Akhil Rasamrit Sindhu, he accepts this mood. Now, as the pastime progresses, what happens, of course? Lord Vamandev becomes very, very big and takes the entire kingdom of Bali Maharaj. In his first step, he covers all the material worlds. And in his second step, he covers all the heavenly planets and says, "Where do I put my 3rd step? Maharaj Bali, I have taken everything that you've had in just 2 steps, but you made a promise that I can get 3. So Maharaj Bali, being the grandson of the great devotee Prahlad Maharaj, he has within his heart realizations of the Supreme Lord. And when he realizes that the Supreme Lord himself has come and asked me, he considered himself the greatest amongst all and the best amongst all, that he has the greatest fortune amongst all. So he says, "Oh Lord, you please put your lotus feet on my head and I will become yours completely." And the Lord, being so pleased with him, says, "Oh Maharaj Bali, I am so pleased and I am so impressed with your devotion towards me that you may have anything you like." And Maharaj Bali says, "I want that you become my doorkeeper, so that you are always within my vision, so that you are always giving me darshan." And in this way, Maharaj Bali wins the heart of Lord Vamandev. However, Ratnamala, when she sees that Vamandev has become so big and taken everything from her father, she becomes very upset. And she says, "Oh, if he was my son, then I would poison him to death." And in this way, the Lord also took the mood of Ratnamala and fulfilled both of her desires, in that he became like her son and she became like his mother, and she also attempted to poison him. So in this way, the Lord reciprocates with his devotees, because he promises all, "Ye yatham mam prapadyante tam sateva bhajamyam," that I will reciprocate with you in the way that you reciprocate with me. So Putana, when she approaches in Vrindavan, she's a demoness. She's a very vicious looking, ugly demon, right? But she has this mystic potency that she could move wherever she wanted, and she could take on any form that she wanted. So some may ask, well, if she wanted to poison Krishna, why didn't she become like a tiny little bumblebee or an insect that flew into the room of Krishna and tried to poison him? Why didn't she try any other form? Why did she become a beautiful woman? As Srila Prabhupada says, she converted herself by mystic power into a very beautiful woman. So, our Rasika Acharyas, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says, oh, this is because of the beauty of the gopis. See, everything Krishna does at the end of the day is related only and only to the pleasure of gopis. Right? Everything is for the pleasure of the gopis and for the glorification of the gopis. So when Putana, as she's approaching Vrindavan, she sees the beauty, the exquisiteness, the splendor of the gopis. And she becomes, like everyone, immediately attracted to them. And she says, this is the form that I would like to become. Because these beautiful gopis are more beautiful than the entire universe. So let me try to become like them. Of course, she cannot become like them, but she can attempt. And so she takes on this form of a beautiful woman. Now, when she approaches Nanda Maharaja's palace and she goes into the room of Yashoda Maya, then she enters unobstructed. And it is described in the Bhagavatam that she actually says to Yashoda, oh, you have such a beautiful boy. How dare you keep him on this crib, on this bed? Instead, you should always keep him within your lap because he is so beautiful. And Mother Yashoda, being shocked and being mesmerized by her beauty, of course, due to the potency of Yogamaya Devi, then she allows Putana to take her son in her lap and Putana says, I will now feed him my breast milk because this Lala should always have my breast milk. And Yashoda Maya allows for this to happen. Now, when Krishna goes into the lap of Putana, he immediately closes his eyes. And our Acharyas, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sri Vallabhacharya, and our 6 Goswamis give 22 reasons why Krishna closed his eyes when he sat in the lap of Putana. So detailed our Acharyas are giving their commentary. Every movement, every pastime, every aspect, they are revealing so many different siddhantas and truths. So, our Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives 5 reasons. He says because Krishna, when he sits in the lap of Putana, just like a small 6-day-old child, because Krishna was only 6 days old when Putana came. So as a small young child, what are they doing? They only recognize the touch and the feel of their mother. And so whenever someone, and you might have experienced this, whenever a baby goes away from their parent, then immediately they close their eyes and they start to complain. So similarly, because he is doing Naravat Leela, he closes his eyes to show that he is just a small child and he is very fearful of someone new taking him. Secondly, because of course he knows the inauspiciousness or the nature of such a person like Putana. So he does not want to see such an inauspicious person who has gone around and killed so many children. And he also knows that because if he looks at Putana, because his lotus eyes are so beautiful, and whoever Krishna looks at, whomever he looks at, that person is blessed and reveals their true form. So he knows that if he were to look at Putana, then this would ruin the pastime and she would have to become like her original form, which is shown here. So, to avoid showing this real form and to allow the pastime to be conducted, Krishna closes his eyes. Then fourthly, he does not want to kill a woman because killing a woman is inauspicious, especially one who comes in the mood of a mother. So by closing his eyes, he avoids seeing that scene because he is just a small, beautiful child. So he does not want to see this scene and he avoids looking at a woman in this way. Then our Sri Vallabhacharya, he has highlighted so many other reasons, and I wanted to highlight 2 of them. First is that he also meditates on what? That how is this person coming to me, even though she's a demon? What previous history does she have? And Krishna recounts that, now I have completed this thing. I have accomplished this desire of fulfilling Ratnamala's desire of being my child, of me being her child, right? Having this mood that he should be my child, and also having this mood that he should be poisoned by me. So he is wondering that, so he closes his eyes. And then he also, Sri Vallabhacharya describes that he's also remembering Lord Shiva or Mahadev. That he remembers that, wait, Mahadev is actually one who took poison as Nilkant, right? When Lord Mahadev, Lord Shiva, comes in after the churning of the ocean and the poison comes, then it is Lord Shiva who keeps the poison within his neck. So he meditates and calls Lord Shiva, hey, Lord Shiva, you please take this poison that Putana is giving because you are Nilkant. And since I am Krishna, I am doing my Madhurya-like pastimes, my beautiful Balya Leela in this Vrindavan Dham. I have no desire. I will only take the good. I will only take the milk from Putana. You take the poison because you are expert at that. So Krishna, being full of sweetness, he only takes the good from his devotees, and he only takes the good even from the demons. In Vrindavan, every single entity, every single thing is conscious. And Krishna is always looking at everyone in Vrindavan as good, no bad. This is the nature of the Supreme Lord. He only sees our good qualities. Now, another thing that is accomplished by the killing of Putana is, as Srila Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Siddhanti Maharaj used to say in his katha, that the first impression is the last impression. That this is Putana, right? Putana is what? Putana is the first demon that approaches Lord Krishna. After all, he's only 6 days old. So right away after Krishna is born, after they have celebrated the birth of Krishna and Nand Utsav and so many festivals within the first few days, then Putana comes right away. Now Putana leaves a very important impression onto Mother Yashoda. Because yet Mother Yashoda, after seeing that her child was almost hurt by this demoness, right, she becomes immediately fearful. And what is described as having transcendental fear. Why transcendental? Because this transcendental fear increases the love or the prem of Mother Yashoda. Imagine if you have a son, right? And that son almost experienced something that would result in the end of his life. Then you will immediately, automatically remember your son all the time and constantly watch him. Such a small child. Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj had a child after so many decades, right? So many years they waited to have a son. And on the sixth day, the child might have perished, right? Imagine. So always Mother Yashoda, this pastime has set this transcendental fear within her. That she's remembering, where's my Lala? Where's my Lala? What is he doing? How can I nourish him? How can I make sure that he's strong? How can I make sure that he's protected? And she does so many things, like she washes him with cow urine after Putana is killed. Then she smears him with the dust of Vraj, because the dust of Vraj is so powerful, right? The dust of the movements of the cows. This is Vraj Dhuli, right? And then applies cow dung. She also calls so many Brahmans. She does so many pujas that, oh, may my son be blessed. Even though he's the Supreme Lord, the Vatsalya or the parental mood is so strong in Mother Yashoda that she does not recognize or does not see him as the Supreme Lord. She only sees him as her beautiful baby boy. My Lala, my Krishna, my everything. This is the motherly mood of Yashoda Maya. So when she has this transcendental fear, then she is always holding him tight. And just a few days after Putana was killed, then Shakatasura also comes, the cart demon, right? And what happens during that pastime? As Mother Yashoda, as she recovers from this Putana pastime, she then tells Nanda Maharaj, Nanda, oh my dear Nanda, oh Maharaj, I want to have a great big festival. And Nanda Maharaj says, why do you want a festival, Yashoda? Oh Yashode, why do you want a festival? We just celebrated a great big Nanda Utsav. And she says, no, I want a festival. I have to have a festival. And he says, okay, tell me the reason. What will be the reason? And she said, and the gopis around her began to laugh and said, oh, because Krishna did one turn. He turned from the left side to the right side. This is a great big celebration, and they want to do a festival. And Nanda Maharaj begins to laugh and says, so be it. Whatever you wish, Yashoda, this will happen. There is no stopping. Right? And Nanda Maharaj became very happy. So a few days later, Yashoda Maya had a great big festival. And as she was preparing within the festival, she was making sure the guests arrived fine, making sure all the things were taken care of. And she thought, oh, during this festival, I must also make sure that my son is protected. I do not want anyone like Putana coming into the room without me noticing. I must watch him. So I should hide my son. I should hide him. And she looks here and there in her house and she sees one cart. This great big cart that is very strong. And she puts him at the bottom and very hidden. She says, my Lala will rock here and stay very happy while I attend to so many other things. Now, Krishna, after he's being in the cart, he is not happy, right? A child is unhappy when all the attention is diverted away from him. And the child always wants that, hey, how can you enjoy without me? After all, this festival is about me, no? So then he immediately says, I will bring everyone to me. If everyone is over there and they don't want to pay attention, well, then I must do something to bring them all to me. And of course, then Yogamaya potency allows for Shaktasur to come and cause a great big commotion when Krishna kills the cart demon by kicking it with his lotus feet. So Krishna is always looking to obtain the prem of the Vrajavasis, to obtain the prem of Mother Yashoda, and his Yogamaya potency will do anything to make that happen. Because prem, what is prem? That is this sweet love between Krishna and his devotees. And in Hindi it is said, Prem ki nadi hamesha ulti behti hai. That means that the river or the flow of prem, of this love, it should always have some obstructions, and it flows opposite to traditional thinking. Because obstructions in prem, or the problems, right? The problems that come in Krishna's pastimes rejuvenate the prem and make it go higher and higher and higher, right? Because prem should never go in just one stream. It should go like this, and in this way, the Vrajavasis experience more enhancement. So, for one example that is written in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and our Gurudev used to say this, is that if a wife, for example, if a wife whose husband goes far away for work, what happens? Her love for the husband grows. Because now she is always remembering, oh, my husband used to be like this. My husband used to do this. Oh, I used to cook this meal for my husband and he used to enjoy it tremendously. So always like this, the separation or the obstruction in the prem causes more rejuvenation, right? So similarly, when Krishna conducts these pastimes, when some obstruction comes, then all the Vrajavasis come and immediately enhance and elevate their love. Oh, my dear Lala. Oh, my dear beloved. Oh, my dear friend. Like this. And as mentioned, Krishna gives this right to Yogamaya Shakti. Now another thing that Krishna accomplishes is that when the killing of Putana happens, all the Vrajavasis come to Nanda Maharaj's palace after hearing about it. So, as you know, in traditional Vedic culture, right? Once a child is born, they are kept within the home and not shown to anyone for so many months, right? So many weeks, minimum 30 days, many people 6 months. They don't take them outside the house. But Krishna, being so desirous of taking the darshan of his devotees, right? Krishna lalayat hote hain apne bhakton ka darshan ke liye. He wants to take the darshan of his devotees always. Then he arranges this pastime to give darshan to the Vrajavasis and also for him to take the darshan of his beloved devotees. So in this way he accomplishes this also. Now another thing Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentioned in his commentary is that by killing Putana, she also, when she takes on this huge 12-mile form after being killed and falls and destroys everything that she falls on, she destroys one important thing. She destroys a garden of Kans, a garden of Maharaj Kans. Why? Because Maharaj Kans, he made one great big garden near his palace. And he said that no one in the entire universe should enjoy the fruits and flowers of this garden except for me. This is made for my pleasure, right? And what does Krishna, upon seeing this, upon knowing this, he says, how can anything in the entire universe, this entire universe is mine. I have created this universe. And why have I created this universe? For the pleasure of my devotees. For us to have these pastimes. So there should be no such garden with that motive. And so when Putana, when she falls and she crushes everything that she falls on, she also destroys this garden of Kans. And the reference here is that Srila Jiva Goswami in Vaishnav Toshani says this beautiful accomplishment or beautiful result that comes from killing a Putana. So when one tries to enjoy the material world for themselves and does not utilize it in service, yukta vairagya of Krishna, then immediately the pleasure or the potency of that thing does not exist, right? So we should try to utilize all things in the service of Krishna, whether it be a fruit or a flower. Patram pushmam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prachati. Krishna says you can offer even these simple things to me. So I hope you understood some background info. I hope you understood some of the reasons or the little aspects that are happening within the pastime of killing a Putana that illuminate this pastime in a different way. And now finally we will learn what devotees can take away from this pastime. After all, what are the lessons that we want to know? How is it going to help me? How is it going to nourish my bhakti and my sadhan bhajan and my devotional practice? How is it going to do that? So we will learn that too. And so we will learn how different devotees, different people saw the killing of Putana and how it affected them. And in this way we can also cleanse our heart similarly. So the first devotee we will refer to is Sri Shukadev Goswami, who is the narrator of Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. Now Sri Shukadev Goswami, of course, he is a Nitya Siddh Parikar, that means an eternal associate of Srimati Radhika. He's the parrot of Srimati Radhika. But when he appears in this world, just like all of our acharyas, they come from that Nitya Lok, that Nitya Siddh, they are Nitya Siddh Parikars, but they come in this world to benefit all of us as jivas, right? So when he comes in this world, he appears first as an impersonalist. That means what? A Jnani Bhakta. He appears as a devotee who meditates on the impersonal or non-manifest form of the Lord. Now, Sri Shukadev Goswami is completely transformed when he hears two verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam. The first verse being, Barahapidam Natavara Karnayo Karnikaram Bibradavasa Karnaka Kapisham Vaijayanti Chamalam Randarvenu Adara Sudaya Puriyan Gopa Vinde Vindaranyam Ramaniyam Pravishada Gita Kirti. Now this beautiful famous verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it describes the transcendental form of the Lord. His Nam Rup Guna Lila, his Rup, that he has a beautiful Tribanga Lalit form. He plays a Venu, this beautiful flute, and he is dressed in a yellow cloth with a beautiful garland, a Vaijayanti Mala, and so many other things. He is the greatest amongst dancers, Natavara, right? That he is the greatest amongst dancers. In fact, it is described that dancing takes shelter of Krishna. Not that Krishna takes shelter of dance and becomes the best, but dancing is enhanced by taking shelter of Krishna. That is how the qualities of Krishna, they actually take shelter of Krishna, not the other way around. So when he hears this verse, he becomes immediately attracted. He says, who is this person has such a beautiful form? I have never heard of him. I want to have his darshan. So he gives up his idea of impersonal form. He gives up the idea that the Lord has no form. And he says, this beautiful Supreme Lord, I want to worship him. But he also says, second thing, he says, if I give up this Jnani Bhakti, this faith towards Jnani, right? Faith towards impersonalism, then he says, what is my assurance that I am following the right path? Because many devotees, they experience that, Krishna, yes, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They become convinced. But from time to time we say, are you sure? Is he really the Supreme Personality of Godhead? What about what some of the other Puranas say? What about this? Or what about if this person says this? Then they have no firm faith, no nishtha that this is true. So Shukadev Goswami is also displaying this because this comes within the habit of a sadhaka. This comes within the mind. So he asks, what is my assurance that if I follow Krishna, right? If I worship Krishna, if I believe in Krishna, if I love and develop prem for Krishna, then what is the assurance that he is going to rescue me? And so then when he hears this second verse, this is by Sri Uddhav, Aho baki yam stana kalakutam, that when Putana, when he hears that Krishna, being so merciful, so loving towards every living entity, that when a person who is coming what? To put deadly poison into Krishna, then he grants the position of mother, or it is described like a nurse, right? Dhatri. Dhatri means the nurse, or the assistant to the assistant of Mother Yashoda. It is described that Putana does not become a direct nurse. She actually becomes the assistant to the assistant. Dasa, Dasa, Anudas, right? So she becomes like this. That someone who tried to kill him, he gave that position. So, Sri Uddhav is glorifying Sri Krishna. That this Krishna is so merciful. Imagine if one develops love and follows him in the proper anugatya of the devotees of Vraj. Right? This is the beauty of the pastimes of Krishna. So when Shukadev Goswami first hears about the form, and secondly receives assurance that this personality, Sri Krishna, there is no one more merciful than him, then he becomes assured and performs bhakti. Now, when Brahmaji, after the Brahma Vimohan Leela, he begins to beg for forgiveness to Sri Krishna for stealing the cowherd boys and calves. Right? And what does he say? Esham Gosha Nivasi Nam. Right? Utta Bhavan Kim Deva Rateti Nash. That he's also saying, my mind becomes bewildered just trying to think of what reward other than you could be found anywhere. That you are the best amongst all objectives. You are the summum bonum, or the goal of all living entities. You are the embodiment of all benedictions which you bestow upon these residents of the cowherd community, or the Vrajavasis of Vrindavan. You have already arranged to give yourself to Putana and her family members like Agasur, Shakadasur, in exchange for her disguising herself as a devotee. So Brahmaji is describing that, oh Lord, I have made a grave error. But please, you are so merciful, because even someone who approached you like Putana, you gave yourself to them. So imagine what is the glory of the devotees of Vraj, right? Because they have given you what? They have given their home, their wealth, their friends, their relations, their bodies, their children, and their very lives and hearts are dedicated only to you. So, Sri Brahmaji, knowing that the soft spot within Krishna's heart is when one glorifies the Vrajavasis. Brahma, Krishna is so busy. He says, what is this Brahma coming here? What is this four-headed Brahma coming and disturbing my pastimes with my friends? He has already ruined it. Now he's coming and glorifying me with so many prayers. I want to go and run with my friends. And his friends are looking at Brahma and saying, who is this four-headed person that has come? This very unusual light person has come and start talking to Krishna. When is he going to come and start playing with us? So only until Brahma started, you can see in this picture that he's looking at Brahmaji with not so much interest. But when Brahmaji starts to describe the glories of Vrajavasis, when he says that, oh, aho bhagyam, right, is described. That how lucky, not lucky, how fortunate, how blessed, what glory these Vrajavasis have. If they have given everything, and you gave yourself to Putana, imagine what you will give to them. So in this way, Brahmaji is glorifying the mercy of Krishna. And then finally, just as our acharyas, what are we? We are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Gaudiya Vaishnavas means what? That we are following that Srimati Radhika, who is the best amongst all devotees. That our worshipable is Srimati Radhika, right? We have no interest in Krishna unless Srimati Radhika is present. We want to follow under Srimati Radhika. Srila Prabhupada used to say, Srimati Radhika is the topmost. So what does Gaudiya Vaishnavism mean? That we are followers of Srimati Radhika. And our Gurudev and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, of course, being in the Rupanuga line, right? We are not just trying to be Raganuga Bhaktis or have spontaneous devotion. We are trying to follow under the line of Sri Rupa Goswami. We are Rupanugas. And Sri Rupa Goswami is who? Sri Rupa Manjari. So, if every pastime of Krishna does not relate back to the gopis and Srimati Radhika, then we are not following that path of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So, what does Srimati Radhika say about the killing of Putana? Now, one may not realize this because it is not written so clearly in that specific area where Putana is being described, where the pastime of Putana is being described. We can find in Brahmar Geet, when Srimati Radhika speaks to the bumblebee, experiencing so much separation and man, what is this? Transcendental, how should we describe man? Transcendental, sulky mood of Srimati Radhika, then she complains about Krishna. And her complaints, what are they? They're so nourishing to the heart of Krishna because he is so attracted to the gopis every word. So Srimati Radhika, she complains about Krishna. Our Gurudev describes this, that this is very hidden and very rasik. That Srimati Radhika describes this killing of Putana in what way? That, this Krishna, he is so merciless. He does not care for us. He does not care for the pangs of separation by which we feel. And in fact, when he appears as Lord Ramachandra, what does he do? The first demon he kills is a woman, Taraka. He kills a woman mercilessly. This Krishna has no mercy, right? And then in this Leela, in this pastime, the first demon he kills what? Is a woman who tries to approach him like a mother. So Krishna has no mercy, and these criticisms, these beautiful, sweet, loving criticisms of Krishna attract Krishna because then he immediately wants to come and bring down the man or make Srimati Radhika happy again. And he does anything and everything to please Srimati Radhika. So when we connect this, when we try to realize that mood of Srimati Radhika, then we really make progress in our bhajan. So, in the end of the chapter of Putana, right, it is described that what is the fruit of listening to this katha? What is the fruit? And, Srila Prabhupada's translation, any person who hears with faith and devotion about how Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, killed Putana, and who thus invests his hearing in such childhood pastimes of Krishna, certainly attains attachment for Govinda, the Supreme Original Person. So, Srila Prabhupada and Srimad Bhagavatam promise that if we pass time in the pastimes, if we spend our time investing in hearing these pastimes from these Rasik Bhavuk Vaishnavas, like our Acharyas, if we read and spend time understanding the commentary, the internal moods of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, then we will really become attached to Shri Govinda. This is the promise, this is the assurance. So our Srila Gurudev, what does he say? He says that anyone who comes to Krishna any which way, Krishna is so merciful that he never lets them go. So even though Putana approaches in the wrong way, he holds on to her breast, sucks her breast until he does her uddhar, or he gives her that position of a dhatri. So Krishna, any which way we approach him, ultimately will be to our benefit. And that he always used to say, he used to look us in the eye and say, don't be hopeless. Srila Rupa Goswami, very famously in Upadeshamrita, says what? Utsaha Nischaya Dharya. That there are three things required when we are doing our sadhana, when we are doing our practice. Utsaha, enthusiasm. We should be enthusiastic. Nischayat, we should have firm faith that yes, I know my goal. What is my goal? To become the Dasa Anudas. That I want to be the Dasa Anudas of Srimati Radhika. I want to follow under this Gaudiya Vaishnava line. And then thirdly, we should have Dhairyat, patience. That there will be some trials and tribulations, right? But that's okay. We must maintain this enthusiasm and determination. So don't be hopeless, because What does it say in Srimad Bhagavatam? That if we have natural devotion, that means Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous devotion, right? And affection for Krishna, then if he granted Putana this position of dhatri, then what then is to be said of those who have this natural devotion and affection? So if we can develop this prema bhakti, right, for Krishna, then what will be the result? It will be so extraordinary that we will not even be able to understand. So this is the glory, this is the beauty of the mercy of Krishna. So this Putana, this pastime of killing of Putana, or Putana Uddhar, it accomplishes so many things as we have learned. From the background, from her being Ratanamala, to how it nourishes the bhavs of the Vrajavasis, and how it accomplishes so many things for the exchange of love between the Vrajavasis. Because as we said in the beginning of this class, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says what? That all of the pastimes of Krishna are Vrajajana Palan Asura Kulanasha. That they nourish the moods of those devotees of Vraj. So, with that, we'd like to conclude this class. Vanchakalpatarabhyasya kripa sindhubhyevaja patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I hope that you found this class insightful, educational, and also inspirational to increase your bhajan, to increase your practice. That is the goal of hearing the pastimes, that our attachment for Krishna increases. And I would like to give credit to all of the senior Vaishnavas who shared all of these different tikas or commentaries of our acharyas. And of course, this is coming only from the lotus lips of our beloved Srila Gurudev. Nitilapa Vishnu Vishnu Pad Paramhamsa Parivrajacharya Stotra Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And also Nitilapa Vishnu Vishnu Pada Stotra Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. By their mercy, we can dive deep into these pastimes. And one should always give credit to our acharyas. If you want to repeat these pastimes, these learnings to anyone, one should always take and give credit. Because we are not capable, myself I'm speaking, of learning this without their mercy. Right? Only by Yasya Prasadad Bhagavat Prasadam, Yasya Prasadad Nagati Kutopi. That without the mercy of Sri Guru, one cannot understand Sri Krishna. So I pray to the lotus feet of our beloved Srila Gurudev, and I pray to also the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, whether that be now listening or in the future, that Yatha Yogi Pranam, please bless me so that may I understand these pastimes and delve deeper and deeper and deeper. Hare Krishna.